My name's Simon Timpley from the International Food Safety and Quality Network. Today's topic is addressing food waste and food loss, balancing sustainability and food safety. And today's guest presenter is our very good friend, Vladimir Sachinsky. As you know, Vladimir's done many presentations. Are you there, Vladimir? He's done many presentations with IFSQN for several years now. He's looking really fresh this afternoon with his new haircut for you all.
Yeah, so, fresh from last night. It's ready.
Looking lovely anyway. So tell us where you're joining from in the sidebar. We're always interested to know. Stephen, Joe in Chicago, Mohammed from Algeria, Ashok from India, Delroy from Barbados,
nice.
Sonia from Miami.
Portugal.
It's just Philippines, Côte d'Ivoire, bonjour, Kwame. So it's nice to see.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, welcome. So we're going to look forward to Vladimir's presentation shortly, but first we're going to play the sponsors' ads, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so let's start. Hello, everyone, once again, and thank you for joining today's webinar. And also thanks IFSQN and you, Simon, for organizing our place for us to learn and to share. And I'm really happy, that we have started working together. I think it was on LinkedIn that the information shown like 9 years ago. So 9 years we have done so many free Fridays, we have done so many trainings, and I know that this is one of the reasons why we have more than 1,000 persons registered for today's webinar. And I know also that this presentation today and also topic is very interesting because we are going to talk about something that is not so new, but actually when we look through the standards, it is new. It is the addressing the food waste and food loss, very important thing in balancing sustainability and food safety. Many of the standards today, especially the food safety standards, are focusing actually on sustainability issues. And one of the parts of sustainability issues is also, and it is connected with the food waste and food loss. So probably majority of you already know me. As I said, 9 years ago, we started working together. Simon and I, we started with some Food Safety Fridays, doing some of the topics. I remember even in the beginning, I think it was 2015, we had 6 or 8 webinars, and it was very interesting the way how we handled it, and the way we on platform we worked on, and how many troubles we had, with the sound, with the internet connection and everything. So it was really interesting experience. um, Before that, I started my career in Deleuze, in Ahold Deleuze, and I was responsible for quality and sustainability. uh, Deleuze was real leader in that, and today is also, as a retailer with Ahold, leader in sustainability in a retail, in many things. And even from 2011 we started working on lowering the food waste. So I think that you will hear a lot of interesting points on how you can do it, and how you can check it in your also activities. From 2014 I started working for certification body of Quality Austria. Quality Austria is internationally recognized certification body, and I worked there as an product manager, meaning that I developed some of the standards that Quality Austria would certify, but also I worked as auditor and trainer there. And yeah, some recent thing and recent update, I started also working with MFIT, International Association for Supply Chain Safety, more than 2.5 years ago. Then I started as vice president, and from the beginning of 2024, actually I'm on a position of CEO. So I'm working as a CEO for MFIT with the big strategies and ideas from for yeah started in 2024. So you will be updated also on that part. So let's go more to the topic. Yeah, today is a Food Safety Friday. We have done so many Food Safety Fridays for free until now, but in between we have developed also some premium trainings that last for 4 hours. And if you are interested in doing that kind of training, that kind of webinar, for sure you should go on the IFSQN web page, go there, look for the training part, and this is special demanded training. And one of the premium topics that we are talking about is practical food safety culture training. This is a 4-hour online training webinar, and we are talking about what are the requirements in standards, what is new, how you can implement it, how you can track it, what would be the KPIs for food safety culture. So go there, check it out. And if you want, this next training is scheduled already for 27th of February. So yeah,
Just
I think that,
quick one, Vlad. I've just put the
yeah.
link to it in the sidebar, but in the follow-up email, I will include details of the training and a link to it if anybody's interested.
Yeah, thank you very much. So you have link in the chat. So if you click it there, you will go directly to this training. So let's continue to our topic today, which is food waste and food loss. But before we go to that topic, we need to understand why we are talking about this topic. Why we are talking about this topic as a connection to the food safety standards. So you all know that there are sustainable development goals of the and these goals are actually UN development goals until 2030. It covers 17 strategies or 17 goals. And the basic idea is actually that if companies and us alone do any activity on these goals, we will of course improve our environment, improve our society, improve our planet until 2030. So how this affected actually the Global Food Safety Initiative? So Global Food Safety Initiative, as you all know, is the place that does the benchmark of big food safety standards, globally recognized standards like IFS, SQF, FSSC 22000, etc. And each year, GFSI has its meeting. And on a meeting on 2022, the leaders from 50 countries convene at this GFSI meeting to deliver impact for safe, sustainable food. And this conference also made a mantra of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and said, okay, so we have so many standards or certification schemes there, and all of these certification schemes are certified worldwide, which means that there are so many food companies or supply chain companies dealing with these standards and requirements in these standards that are practically the same. So what if we add some of these requirements of the Sustainable Development Goals into the requirements of standards? This would mean that all of these companies would have to really work something on it, you know? So they said, but which kind of goals? So they said, okay, let's select the 3 goals. This is specifically goal number 1, which means no poverty, goal number 2, which is zero hunger, and goal number 6, which is actually clean water and sanitation. So GFSI leadership urged delegates to recommit to these goals in honor of the UN's World Food Safety Day, which was on June 7, and the organization is conducting a survey to find out how community members will show their commitment. But actually, later on, because this was in 2022, with the changes of all the standards in 2023, and you are probably all aware of it, you have seen that new requirements are there, that they are added. But what was the basic to add just this, you know, like food waste and food loss? And the basic idea is connected with the amount or the effect actually of this food loss and food waste. So this is a graph that I took from one very good training organized by the FSSC 22000, and you have link here. So when you receive the presentation, you can click on this link and you can go actually and watch also this presentation. It is quite detailed and it explains why we have food loss and food waste as a requirement. The basic, what is shown then there is, and what we know is that the population is growing at a higher rate since 2014. And this means that the need for food is increasing, but will increase by 56 till 98% by 2050. And in the supply chain, 33% of all produced food is lost. And you see on this graph, for example, that only food loss index is calculated from the part of on-farm or post-harvest slaughter operation until the retail. So this means that harvest is not included or the slaughter is not included, but the second these products enter inside the facility for production, you know, of ingredient or product or whatever, and until it goes as a finished product to the retail, we have some losses. And it is calculated that these losses are 33% of all product are lost actually in these steps. So this is still not a food waste. Food waste comes later, but 33%. But this 33%, what it means? It means that 1 billion of metric tons of food is actually lost annually. This is 1 trillion of USD the dollars lost annually. This is 33%. And when we look at the people there that are hungry, 2 billion people could be fed. And the moment estimated 750 million currently threatened by the necessity of food or having less food than they need to. So you see, we lost 2 billion people food because of bad activities, because of bad tracking or whatever. We are losing it. So we need to do something. This is why this requirement is added into the requirement of the food safety standards and the food productions. Of course, everyone who is handling with the food in the supply chain. What is important to mention is that this 33% of all produced food is actually also influencing in 8% of greenhouse gases emissions that is caused by the wasted food in this part of the supply chain. And then the basic is that the sustainability of the food supply system is called into the question. So FSSC 22000 connected with this as because they are part of the UN Global Compact and also they are part of the Global Food Safety Initiative. They wanted and they decided, their board decided that they need to contribute to the sustainability of the sustainable SDG goals. And they decided actually that they will affect on several goals like 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 8, 12, and 17. And biggest areas that they found out is the food loss and food waste, biggest area that have an impact according to experts. So SDG 12.3 goal is 50% reduction in food waste by 2030. And FSSC 22000 version 6 that was published in 2023 says that strategies and objectives to reduce food loss and food waste is impacted by 30,000 certified organizations. So if FSSC says, okay, there is a new requirement in the version 6, this requirement is applicable and should be certified from 1st of April 2024. This means that everyone who is certifying FSSC need to apply to this rule and this requirement and need to implement this requirement that is connected with the food loss and food waste, which means that if all of these 30,000 certified organizations is working something, even a minimum, it affects, the lowering of the food losses. So it's a very good initiative and I really support it. So let us understand actually where is a food loss and where is a food waste. So if you look at the supply chain, you have pre-harvest, you have harvest and slaughter, on-farm post-harvest, slaughter operations, etc. And all of these activities are calculated as losses in harvesting. But actually, food loss starts with the production, transport, storage, and distribution, and processing and packaging until you have a final product. So food loss is defined as it occurs before the food reaches the consumer as a result of problems in the supply chain, production, storage, distribution. So these are the activities where producers, distributors, storages, warehouses can do some of the activities to lower the food losses. But when the product actually is packed, when the product is on the shelf, then we are talking about the retail, and then we are talking about ourselves, about public and household consumption, where we take this food from the shelf and bring it to our home. In that case, this is called food waste. This refers to food that is good for consumption, but it is deliberately discarded at the retail level or by the consumer. So let me give you examples. So food loss will be in the production process, which means, for example, that we don't have very good maintenance of our equipment. And because of the bad maintenance, there are a lots of breakages of the production line and stoppages. And in that case, we are in a need to remove some of the products, to do some rework, but also to remove these products and handle them as a waste, which means that we are losing the food that should be produced and put it on the market. Yeah. So this is because of the bad maintenance activities or not doing regular maintenance activities on site of the production, for example. It could also happen that we are losing food because of the bad packaging that we designed. The packaging is not good and it influences the shelf life. It could be also because of the refrigerator temperatures during the transport, that the temperatures are not good, which influence also our products, and we are losing, then this is called food loss. But the minute when it is on the shelf, the minute when we buy these products, and for example, we have, New Year holidays, Christmas holidays, for example, now coming this Easter holidays, whatever, and you will start buying food, to prepare the food, etc. But in many cases, we are buying too much of this food, and then we have to send this food to a waste. And this is why it's called a food waste. So it's not only the amounts that we are buying, it is also connected with the shelf life of the product. It is also connected with the handling with the product from the retailer to our household, etc. So this is just some short examples for you to understand where is a food loss and where food waste starts. So in the FSSC 22000, there is a new requirement added in the version 6. This is requirement 2516, and it is talking about the food loss and food waste. And the requirement there is saying that you, as a company who is certifying FSSC, you need to have documented policy and objectives with a strategy to reduce food loss and food waste. You should do controls to manage donated products. And also you should have a management of surplus products, byproducts intended as food, feed for animals. And of course, in all of these activities, doing all of these activities, you shouldn't have impacts on a food safety. So let's take, for example, these controls to manage donated products. So what could happen? It could happen that you shipped your product on the market and your products are there, and before the end of the shelf life, these products, let's say that there is still 15 days, 20 days until the end of shelf life, or even 1 month, retailer is returning these products to you. And then what you are doing, you have a product that are still in shelf life, but you cannot put it on the market, and then you donate these products. In case that you are doing a donation of the products, then you need to check these products. Can you donate them? Were there any influences on the food safety? Which means if you are donating, you need to also be sure that you are donating safe products. Okay. The other thing is management of surplus products, byproducts, etc. So let's say, for example, that you are producing some kind of product, and during the production of this product, you have some byproducts there. And these byproducts you are collecting these byproducts, and then you are sending these byproducts actually to the feed producer, who is using these byproducts of your company as an ingredient in production of the feed. This means that you have also a product. It is a byproduct for you, but it is actually some let's say material for the feed, and then you need to take care actually about the food safety also of these byproducts, which means that you need to take care about the traceability of this product. You need to pack it properly, and this product needs to be safely transported. You need to think about the potential cross contamination, etc. So what you can do in starting immediately in your company regarding the food loss, yeah, we can talk about the food loss because majority of you are the producers or working in the food industry and the supply chain. So first thing is that you can do the quantification and review, which means that you can quantify the food losses and food waste at every step. Also, you need to determine the time interval. You need to determine which value you will be using in measuring in kilograms, in dollars, in, I don't know, greenhouse gases, etc. So this would be your activity for 3 months, where you can calculate this. And then in the fourth month, when you quantify and review, you can decide and define the preventive plan. So for example, your strategy can be reduction of food loss and waste 10% year to year, with a total reduction of 50% over a period of 5 years. So this would mean that you define measurable goals based on the quantification, and according to goals and quantification, you should review actions to reduce food loss and waste. very nice food waste pyramid that is taken from the FAO document and also presented in the guideline of the FSSC for food loss and food waste, is showing what actions can we do as part of prevention. This is waste of raw materials, ingredients, and product arising that it is reduced, measured in overall reduction in waste. Then we can do reductions, which means optimization. This could mean redistribution to people. We can use it to send to animal feed, etc. So all of these activities are prevention and reduction. But everything after that is just a waste. Everything that we do, recycling, recovery, disposal, this is waste. And the worst scenario is that we only do a disposal, which means waste incineration without energy recovery, waste sent to landfill, or waste ingredient product going to the sewer, etc. So our strategies should be based on this pyramid, saying, okay, what we can do of activities to do the prevention, what we can do as optimization in our chain, in our activities, and only after we have done all of the projects in prevention reduction, we can deal with recycling or recovery, etc. And this is unfortunately considered as also waste from production. Some of the additional rules that are mentioned also in the guidance document for food loss and waste of the FSSC 22000, and we mentioned the controls to manage donated products. So if the organization donates products to non-profit organization, food banks, or employees, they must ensure that adequate controls are in place so that the donated products are suitable for consumption. So listen, suitable for consumption. This would include safety, but also the quality. It's not just that the product is safe. You cannot donate the product that changes its taste, that the taste is bad, that the color is bad, or something else. So you need really to think about the donated products that they are suitable for consumption. This would include, of course, understanding that how you can test this product. Of course, you can test it inside of your laboratory for some safety questions and also some quality questions. But also, some of you already asked the question, would it be needed that you test it in the laboratory? I'm not sure that you should do that or that you need to spend additional money on it, because this is a product that you already tested and you said it's good and you put it on the market. Now you just returned it from the market and it is still in the shelf life period. So this is not a product that is expired, so it is considered safe. You can do some of the activities on your site, like checking some quality parameters or some safety parameters, like the packaging is okay, that it is not damaged. Also, you check maybe some of the, of course, shelf life, that it is still in the shelf life. You open some of them, you do organoleptics, taste changes on the smell, color, etc. Of course, in controls to manage donated products, you need to think about that the whole process, which will include product transportation, storage, and of course traceability, and of course food fraud assessment, because there could be some activities, there could be some activities regarding the food frauds also connected with this. Again, I mentioned the management of surplus, byproducts intended, etc. Without affecting food safety. It includes proper storage, labeling, and of course identification. So let's say in the fourth month you define the preventive plan, but then you have to do your measurements, and you started in the fifth month of your implementation process. Let's say it like that, and you can define monitoring procedures to measuring, carry out measurement according to procedures and regular intervals, and review whether the goals are being achieved. And in this thing, there is a new thing, and I really like it. This is a version 1.0 of food loss and waste accounting and reporting standard. I think you can find it on the internet. You can download it for free, and it will help you also understand how you can do it. So I will show you what is there in this standard on next slides. But I would say it is quite interesting, and it helped me also understand more how I can do the accounting and reporting regarding food losses at some of the companies where I help them develop this. So what you can find in this version 1 food loss and waste accounting and reporting standard is actually how you can do the measurement or approximation. There are several methods mentioned. I would mention just, let's say, direct weighing. So using a measuring device to determine the weight of food loss and waste. So for example, how you can do it, and I'm sure that everyone who is now in the production, they are doing it. So what is the main thing that you are doing? You are producing some product, yeah, during the day, during the shift. At the end of the shift or at the end of the production day, and during these activities, you separated some of the products that are not good, maybe organoleptics or something was bad, and you separated some of these products. And what you do, you are measuring this product, the weight of this product. So you say, today I produced 2,000 kilograms of finished products, but actually in production of 2,000 kilogram of finished products, I have 50 kilograms of waste or loss product. Why this 50 kilograms is lost? What happened? Was it something wrong with the machine? Was it something wrong with the control? Was it something wrong with the raw material? What was it? So these are the activities I think you are already doing, which is quite normal for any production site. So this is the methods how you can do it. Other methods is checking the records. Yeah, if you are doing it, you are doing some recording. So using individual pieces of data that have been written down or saved and that are often routinely collected for reasoning other than quantifying food loss and waste. For example, waste transfer receipts or warehouse record books, etc. And I will show you later. So we use this method, for example, in one student dormitory and also the restaurant, and we check the records of the waste handled in 1 year, and then we implemented some activities and again check the waste records in the second year to show that we have lowered the food loss actually in our process. Of course, you will have in this standard also illustrative examples of reporting conversion factors for individual items. And this really helped me understand what is a waste, what is a normally expected waste. So when you do some peeling of apple, for example, that is peeled and used for cooking, then very smart people calculated from the USDA, calculated how much of the estimated weight of inedible parts comes from a weight of a whole items. So 23% comes from an apple. So this is a core and stem is a 10% and skin is 13%. So you see, very smart people already calculated that. They calculated that for banana, for chicken breasts, boneless, etc. So this guideline, but also standard, shows you how you can use already some calculations in your own activities. What is there also interesting is actually how you can do calculations of food loss waste across stages of the food supply chain, in the production, in handling and storage, etc. But what is interesting is that they have shown also what are the main drivers and the causes of food loss and waste. So if we look at the production, I already mentioned some of them, like for example, I mean in the production, but also in processing. In processing, I mentioned like contamination on the processing line. I also mentioned errors in processing results in defecting, improper packaging, product specification that is bad. Also, it could be inappropriate choices of storage containers, etc., etc. So it gives you also an idea where your problem can come from, but you will have to, of course, check it in your own company. So when we look at the implementation, we can say that, of course, we can have 1 year of the implementation, starting from the quantification and review, going through the define of preventive plan, and then we do some measurements. These measurements can be based, of course, on this food loss and waste standard, accounting standard that I have shown you, but also after we do that, we need to do some kind of communication and training. This could be a visual communication inside the company, and of course, communication to the consumers, communication to the suppliers, etc. And also some kind of reporting process can be implemented there. And at the end of 1 year, we can do reporting and evaluation of effectiveness of everything that we have implemented in the previous year. So this is, of course, reporting and management review. And then we can do also revision of objectives and strategies if, of course, we implemented everything or we have not implemented all the processes in our company. So I can show you one example. This is the company that deals with the delivery of fresh vegetables. It had large losses after picking due to deviations in quality and rapid spoilage during the transport of their products. And by monitoring all processes in two consecutive seasons, they came to result that showed that their total food losses were approximately 24%, which is about 40,000 euros on an annual basis. The main reason for the losses were actually related to flaws in the calibration and sorting process and inadequate storage and transport conditions. So there were, let's say, triple problems regarding the handling of the product and also the transporting of the product and calibration, etc. So what management decided? Management decided actually that they will do some kind of improvement of quality for the final product. So they said, okay, we would need optical sorter. Then we should extend the product of shelf life. So let's do a packaging in modified atmosphere. And they did the investment and implementation of new equipment and processes as followed. So what happened? They did that in the year. They had, of course, some support from the government regarding the optical sorter, regarding the packaging, etc. They installed this equipment. They did the training of employees about harvesting, about how they should deliver the products or handle the storage, how they should transport it, and then reception controls. Of course, the optical sorter helped in removing any products that could be spoiled or deformed, etc. And then because of the packaging, they extended the product shelf life. But results that they got in just the first year, the results said that 30% reduction of visual defects on sorted products, and then 40% reduction in product spoilage during storage and transportation, which is actually increasing the total amount of products that can be sold on the market. Of course, this positive return on investment in 2 years based on savings made through a loss reduction, and they had a reduction of losses from 24% at the beginning, I told you, to only 3%. Of course, this was not done very easily. They had to invest, they had to do a training, they had to invest money, they had to invest time, etc., new records, some of the consultations, etc. But at the end, they had the reduction of losses from 24% to only 3%. Very, very good example, and very nice to have this kind of example in a company. Additional example, we did it during one audit actually. So we did the audit of the this is student dormitory with restaurant, with the kitchen, and they prepare 678,836 meals in 2022. But what they are doing, how we did the calculation, we said, okay, let's see how many meals you have prepared and served, okay? And then from these meals, let's take a waste records from 2022 and see how much of this organic waste is there per each meal. So we calculated actually that the losses are 9.8 grams per each meal that was served. But we also calculated that there is 81 grams per meal that is wasted. Why? Because food loss is actually in the preparation of the kitchen. And we had over there some losses, because of inadequate activities of the preparation, insufficiently trained employees, raw materials that were not delivered properly or were in a lower quality than they should be. And then we had 9.8 grams per meal in the kitchen of losses. But after we serve the meal, what we have seen or calculated is actually that students are not eating the whole meal that was served, and they are throwing away a part of the food that was served. So actually, we calculated also that waste that is thrown, and this is, you wouldn't believe, 81 gram per meal was wasted. So we did a lot of activities in 2023, and at the end of the 2023 we did again the calculation. This time we had a little bit less meals, but nevertheless on these meals we calculated the waste that is produced, and because of our activities we have lowered the losses on 6.7 grams per meal, and you wouldn't believe 59.2 grams per meal on a finished product, on a finished meal. How this happened, I will not keep a secret from you. So we changed the ordering of products, of fruits and vegetables primarily, and we are doing just-in-time delivery. In earlier times, we ordered fresh products and then we stored it for some time, but during this time in our storage, it was ruined. Especially it was ruined for strawberries, for example, where it was 40% of waste affecting just by these strawberries that we couldn't serve to the students. So what we change in that company, that we are doing now just in time. It is delivered from the suppliers. So we order it today for tomorrow, or today for the next 2 days, and then they deliver each day, and this is very, very interesting how we do it. Then we also did the creating of bi-weekly menus to optimize ordering, creating the final menu today for tomorrow, and this conscious production 10% less than the planned number. So we are doing consciously, we are producing 10% less than the planned number. Why we are doing it? We are doing it to have less waste later, but then we decided actually that if there are some students where food is not served, we will prepare for this small number right there on time, and directly on time we will prepare for them. Yeah. So this really affected the lowering of the waste at the end. Of course, we did a lots of employee training for proper food processing and controls during the processing. This additionally influenced in lowering the losses. But then what influenced additionally is the installation of better equipment. This is reduction of the amount of oil used and the generation of waste oil. This is, we would say, better temperature control and automatization, and this influence actually in lowering the problems with the product, or burning the product, or burning the oil fast. So better control in the process means less losses of food. And then the amount of food that remains after the student is considered waste. We did a nutritional meal calculator. This nutritional meal calculator is available on the website for the students, and they can check the nutritional calculator each day for the meals that will be served this day. And because of this, the aim is to reduce waste. And currently we are using waste as animal feed 100%, but the idea is also to reduce this waste by just making the students conscious about how much of a food they can consume, and then they can come to a line and said, okay, remove this, I don't want it on my plate, etc. We corrected the prices in this case, and then we also lowered the waste, you see, for the 59.2 gram per product. So yeah, that's it. One more time, I would just remind you to register for practical food safety culture training. It's on 27 on February 2024. And I would be very happy to see you there, because we are going to talk about food safety culture, also about how to practically implement it in your company among your employees, how to measure it, and what you should get as an results. Of course, we're going to show some tools that you can use, some tools in communication, in training, in of course some of the activities like recording that would help you also understand better. Yeah, so now I will stop the slide presentation and go with you on your question. I have seen that you have asked some questions, so let's go through them.
I'll okay, so I'll put them up for you. Nadia, what is the estimated cost of food waste in the all-inclusive hotel industries in the Caribbean?
Well, from this side, I haven't been to the Caribbean, but I would say that this standard would easily help them calculate. But I think that the point of this question is to mention that you have these inclusive hotels with all you can eat and serving so much food, etc. And I worked also with the hotels and chiefs in that restaurants and kitchens. And I know that it is not easy to plan this number of meals, that you have also all kind of delicacy, etc., and that this is very looking luxury for all the people coming there. Some of them find a solution how they can reuse some of the products served, for example, or make another products from it, but it is really not done so often, I would say. And then I wouldn't be in that skin of the kitchen, like having to calculate all the people in the hotel and the food to prepare, etc.
Not easy.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of questions on that, so you've killed two birds with one stone. Firuze, some of the losses are not related to the company, and the main cause depends on the suppliers, like pest-affected pistachio, and most of the loss records depend on the suppliers and agriculture. For this kind of damage, the company should have a plan. Should they have a plan?
Yeah, definitely. Because this is actually your part of the supply chain. You are managing the suppliers. So, and you are checking, of course, the products as they come to your site. You are checking, you're doing some reception controls, and you are doing some controls in process of measuring these products for using in the production process. And whenever you notice that something is bad, you need to calculate it, and you need to measure it, how much of it is delivered and how much of it is bad, and how many times you have returned. This could be also connected with your supplier evaluation, but it is also connected with your losses of food in the in your chain. And definitely you should have a plan how to prevent that, how to communicate that to your suppliers.
Okay. Janet's asking, what should be the standard waste in tuna manufacturing industry? Bit specific.
Yeah, but I did the audit of the tuna. So So you have only the organic waste that is happening due to the processing of tuna. But when we talk about the losses, you would see on this graph that I have shown you that tuna harvesting, actually, let's say harvesting is actually not considered as a loss. It is considered as harvesting losses. So it's not connected with the losses in production that we are talking, or the food losses. The food losses will be connected with the processing of tuna when it arrives to the processing area, and you do the cleaning of tuna, and then you do the freezing, and after freezing maybe you do some processing of the tuna, before it goes to, I don't know, restaurants for sushi or whatever. In this processing, you could have some removal of pieces of tuna that were broken, not broken, damaged, etc. during the fishing. The tuna is very sensitive to fishing process, so fishing process should be done in a way that tuna is not endangered or damaged. And the more the flesh is damaged, then later you will have to remove from the product. And this is where you have to, it should be a cooperation in between the harvesting process and also the production process, but only organic waste is there generated.
Okay, a question from Sharon. How do we continue to address the behaviours associated with food waste when most land is being bought up by corporations and the wealthy? This prevents encouraging urban gardens in most needed areas.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to answer that question, because this question is not maybe it's connected to the country where you live in, but in majority of countries it's not that companies are buying all the fields. I would say, for example, in my country, that we all have some fields where we can grow food, or we can grow uh, have some small gardens or something like that. But even less, the people having this, they don't do it, not all of them. So I understand your consideration about this, but yeah, try to be wealthy then. Yeah.
Okay. From Sovi, is grading of fruits and vegetables food loss or waste?
Grading of fruits and vegetable, yeah, if you're doing it in your company, like grading, calibration, etc., it is connected with the food loss. So this is a food loss, and you should do some of the activities I already mentioned, like the activities of improving the quality of products coming to you, or handling with the products, etc., so that during this grading you don't have to remove a lot of products. Or do the better contracting, for example, with the sales, so that you can sell all kind of different shapes and maybe some colorized products, so that it's okay for them to put it on the market.
Okay. Anand, how food waste can be controlled by an FSSC certified food factory?
So you will not control the food waste if you are not a retailer. You will only focus on the food losses, and the food waste you can do as a project with your retailer, for example, retailer where you sell your products. You can think about changing the packaging, maybe the size of the packaging, or do the portioning. For example, you are delivering the product which is 1 kilogram, and when I open a product, I cannot eat the 1 kilogram, and then product goes, yeah, the shelf life just goes very fast. And then you decide, you say, okay, I will deliver the portions. There will be 4 portions of 250 grams, and then you can open each portion, and then you don't have to have waste. This could be a project that you can do with a retailer. You can do also projects of shelf life extension, all kinds of things.
Okay, question from Ahmed. Is good loss applicable for all food manufacturing?
Yeah, it should be applied for all food manufacturing. Maybe it's not, of course, applied for the scope I, which is food packaging, because it's not food. It's for packaging losses, but for everyone else, it could be applied. And you can look on which exact scopes it could be applied in the FSSC guideline for the food loss and waste, where it is clearly described. And it's free to download on their website.
Maybe you understand this. Anand, factory may be restricted till handling over to the shelf to the consumer, right?
Yeah, it can be restricted. Yeah, so retailer can say to the factory, I want that you deliver the products to me that are, I don't know, maximum shelf life or a minimum shelf life, etc. And then you as a factory have to always fulfill their requirement. But this is also a place where you can work out with the retailer in regarding the food waste at their own sites.
Okay, question from Nathan. In regards to the management of donated product before donation, does this need third-party testing?
I would say that this is not mentioned anywhere, but it would also depend from the product. It is if it's a, let's say, critical product that is connected with I don't know, meat, milk, and something like fresh products, then you should maybe include third-party test, but you should do the risk analysis. Do you need it? But in reality, these are the products that are good. They are in a good shelf life. You already did during the production process some process controls, final controls, and if you concluded that the product is good, then okay. If you are returning that product from the market before the shelf life expiry, then you need to test it in your own internal laboratory, maybe for some physical chemicals characteristic or organoleptic characteristics, packaging integrity, that it is not destroyed or something like that, and then you can conclude by yourself that you can donate it. It is safe to be donated.
Thank you for that. Question from Ahmed. We produce juice. It can have a loss during manufacturing due to low content, which cannot be distributed due to legal claim of net content. Well,
okay, yeah.
That's a statement rather than a question. Yeah. Okay.
If product is not safe, or is not in quality, or not in legal requirements, then you have a loss in your production, and then you calculate it as a loss, but you need to find the reason why it happened.
Question from Amis. Once waste food is related to retailers and consumers, how are the producers or traders would quantify this?
Only in projects together with the retailers. Especially if you're producing private label or private brand products, then in these cases it would be easier to do it as a together project with the retailers.
Question from Brooke. Will there be a link to the pre-calculated inherent waste calculated by those very smart people?
Yeah, when you download this presentation, in this presentation you have also links, but you have also the name of this food loss and waste reporting standard, and you can go type it in Google and you can find the standard, and of course all the calculations are explained there.
Question from Neha. Say it is a cleaning and maintenance day for a flour industry, which is a weekly activity, and products stuck in equipment after cleaning. Will this be added to food loss?
Well, if you have some issues in your production equipment, which means that during the production that you have a losses of your flour or whatever, then like spillages that are continuous, then this would be calculated as a food loss. In other cases, if this is a normal process, you know, that you have some of this because it's a dusty product, it flies over, then this is not a food loss. But if you have, in any case, some spillages, some, you know, parts of the equipment where this spillage is happening, then this is a food loss on your production process.
Okay, got you. A question from Jack Dish. How to include food loss and waste in food safety objectives?
Yeah, so actually this is a quite good question. Your food safety objectives should also include food loss and waste. And actually how you can do that is that I said you can measure the amount of lost products that you are doing during the one day or 1 month. You can check your records, doing some weighing, etc. And you can say, okay, we want to have 50% less food losses in our production process. Yeah. So this could be your strategy, for example.
Okay, we're getting through them now. Nathan, in regards to the management, we've done that. Question from Azila, why can't we use lean manufacturing in food losses to minimize it to the minimum or infinitesimal level, especially during manufacturing?
Who said you can't use it? Nobody said that. You can use, this is a good thing. You can use it as a preventive actions in your activities in order to, of course, lower the losses. Of course, you can use it.
Okay, from Mohammed, what role can government policies and regulations play in reducing food waste and food loss?
Well, Muhammad, I think that they are already doing it in lots of countries because they are also focusing on this Agenda 2030. So probably they will have some projects actually there for producers how to lower losses in production, etc. They can do also some of the you know changes in the legislation, for example, or they can do some financing of the projects or financing of the equipment buying in the food production, so that more quality processes are there and less bad products coming to the market.
Good question from Mohammed. It's similar to Lean. Is the new requirement pushing organizations to implement Lean Six Sigma? Any waste?
No.
Yeah.
No, they are not pushing. Nobody is saying that you should have Lean Six Sigma. It's up to your decision.
And Laurie, how do you make objectives if you're only a trader instead?
Well, it's hard that you do that regarding the trader, you know, because you are not actually physically handling the product. This could be only if you are physically handling the product. I mean, as a trader, you only trade it; it goes from one point to another point, etc. But this is only possible if you are handling the product. In case that you want to have some objective, I would say then that you would need to do a project with your companies that you are doing the training together with them.
Okay, that's all the ones that were marked as questions. So brilliant. Superb.
Thank you.
Great engagement, great content as usual. Thanks very much, Vladimir. Hope
Thank
you have
also
a nice weekend. And are you taking your new haircut anywhere nice?
Yeah. I'm with my wife actually on some short holiday, so we will use the opportunity after we finish to go to some a nice dinner and drink, of course.
Very nice. Well, enjoy yourself, and we'll see you
Thank
soon.
you all.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, I've loaded the certificate in the sidebar. You can download that. You've got to add your own name to it by print and sign, or open it in image editing software and add it that way. Be following up shortly with an email with the recording, slides and certificate, and also a link to the upcoming training with Vladimir, the practical food safety culture training that's on the 27th of February. So watch that inbox, and it should be with you in an hour or so. Okay, thanks very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, take back.